hug your furry friends a little tighter, a little closer this morning, because today is National Pet Day.
And this morning, we want to focus on their well-being. Joining us right now to tell us how we can ensure our pets are in their optimal health is pet health expert Christina Rahm. Christina, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. So, you would assume that your pet's food would be just like the food we feed ourselves and would be good for their health. But, I talked to a vet and they said, kind of all of these foods are equal. Do you disagree with that?
I do disagree with that. I think that, that's the overall census or consensus of what people think. But no, some of the foods have a lot of preservatives. They have a lot of ingredients actually that can harm the animals. And I have focused some of my career on developing things that you can give your pets regardless of what they're eating. But I will say, no, not all food brands are the same at all.
Okay, so we've been saying this morning that you're going to talk about food labels, and we'll get there. But first, what food should we avoid giving our dogs and cats? I guess first you want to talk about dogs because it's probably different.
Well, dogs and cats, there are certain things that really are not good for them. You really should not be giving your animals chocolate, for example, or you shouldn't be giving them grapes or a lot of nuts. There are some grains that are good for them, but there are other things that can really implicate and hurt their entire system. Another thing, like I love to give avocados to my animals. However, if you give them too many avocados, it can hurt them and cause a reversal effect. So you just really have to understand dogs need things in moderation. They do need greens and grains and certain things like that, but they also need to heavily rely on protein. A lot of people think they can give them all kinds of fruits and every single vegetable there is, and that's not actually the case at all.
As a mom, I feel like I'm already responsible for 4 people's diet in my home. So I'm probably not going to create a special diet for my dog. Is there something just over the counter that we can get that you like more than others, and why is that?
Yeah, there's a brand called Natural Foods and another one called Pure Pets that I really like. Some of those are more at specialty stores. I also worked on a line called Bill and Coo that is really important, that is supplementing into the other dog brands, because I believe that there's not a perfect dog food. I actually love to give my foods or my animals the food that we cook or that I make. And a lot of people don't understand that because they think that they should always go buy it. But truly cooking at home, your chickens, like your pure chickens or your fish and different things like that are really great for animals. Otherwise, you kind of need to do almost supplementation for animals. And a lot of people, I think, don't understand or know about that.
So then tell us what you mean by that.
Well, for example, I'll give you an example. Beets is another thing that are very, very good for dogs and actually for a lot of the cats and for a lot of animals. And so so are certain greens, but there's some greens that are not good for animals in abundance or in certain types of way that it's manufactured. I made a product called Anna Greens that really helps support the animals. It has beets and greens and really microdosing of things so that the animals get what they want. And then another thing that's really important that people don't understand is animals have more cancer. They have more autoimmune disorders than humans. They just can't communicate. So cleaning out your pets is very important. There's a line that I worked on called Bill and Coo that has something called Clean Pure Pets, where you're really cleaning them out because they're exposed to toxins all day, especially if they're outside, because it's in the grass, it's in the air, it's everywhere around them, and they don't know what they can get into and what they can't. So it's really important to detox your animals, whether it's a cat or a dog, and then supplement with different grains and different proteins.
What are we supposed to be looking on for, like on the food labels then? What are we looking for?
So you really need to look for making sure, I always tell people, if you buy a product that's a food or like a product at the store, try to keep it to 3 to 5 ingredients and make sure that you're looking for things that are just pure protein and not preservatives. There's a lot of fillers and preservatives that are basically like your grains or your wheat that are put into dog or cat food that are really not good for the animals at all. So you really need to look at that on the label to make sure you're not catching any of those preservatives or dyes. They use a lot of dyes, and people don't realize it. We know they put dyes in like Skittles or M&Ms, but a lot of us don't understand they even put it in dog food that you buy at the store.
Crazy, because why does my dog care what color the food is? I mean, I know we do it on Skittles because it's more fun. So for middle income people, middle America, I mean, obviously they've got pets, then they're not paying $60 a bag for food. So I love the idea of beets, supplementing with beets, because that's good. Before you go, can you just give us an idea of a couple other things that we can give our animals when you're on a budget? Like you talk about probiotics, but is there a way to do probiotics to feed them something that I'm not buying very high price at a specialty store?
There is. You can use fermented, for example, sauerkraut, not in abundance, but you can give them some of that. That will help as a pre or a probiotic. Spirulina is a grain, for example, that you can't get everywhere, but you can get it some places, and that's really good for animals. Broccoli is another grain that's really good. Like I can make chicken and broccoli and give that to my animals and not use a lot of like peanut oils and things like that, but just use pure ingredients. And that's what people need to understand. If they're on a budget, they still should be cooking clean food for their own body. So while they're cooking, they can also cook proteins and vegetables and give them to their animals. And sometimes that's more cost effective and healthier for the animals than buying the food at the store.
Yeah, just leave out a lot of the spices that you might.
Yeah, because that's what I had always heard, that they don't need all those spices. Yeah,
they don't need like the cinnamon, and like they don't want your cayenne pepper or your things that are really spicy like
onion,
that. You don't
salt.
need to give those to the animals.
Yeah. Christina, very helpful. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you so much. Have an amazing day in Houston.
Yeah, thank you.